mean, Leona's pretty, but...
Nintendo, though, on Leona.
Also, okay. That one, the image together, not so much.
Now we just spawned a whole bunch of Photoshops.
Oh, gosh. You started this. Shyvana there in the top lane, going to go through for Zion Spartan. Going to be probably a little bit weak early on against Renekton. And Lee Sin here for Nintendo. Not something we've seen him on at all this year.
Yeah, and that's definitely going to put more pressure on him. He has the capabilities to fight this Elise, though. We already saw Meteos using Elise very effectively, counter-jungling earlier today. But Lee Sin, you do not want to find him in the jungle 1 versus 1. If Elise can get off her combo, from Praga War, then she does have a good chance in the duel. But if she's the one spotted out first, it's going to be really painful. So I do like that, matching the early game power. Both junglers have a lot of moves available to them very early on.
Well, we'll see what happens with this game. Top laners, Bruiser guys going to fight each other. The early game junglers here as well. The Orianna, you predicted that pick. You're getting a champ select, and that comes through there, supporting the Vayne. This game seems to be the late game hopes, resting a lot on double lift here for Counter Logic Game.
Now, Orianna, not only is it good against LeBlanc, they also have extra shields for double lift, which CLG loves to do.
Yeah.
So speeding up and shielding double lift, definitely a bonus effect here for this CLG comp. I think the comp's looking pretty good for them, relying on classic CLG strategies that can be seen on the spinner. Solo pushing AD carry. We'll see if they actually go through with that.
Yeah, well, he's got to lose the lane first to make that happen, though, in order to carry his 50 minutes on Vayne. And they've already won more than one game in a row, so they've already broken one of those spinner options. As the teams load into the ramp, let's check out who you think is going to come out on top. And according to LOLesports.com, 77% of you think that CLG are going to take the win. Fan vote's definitely behind these guys. We'll see if they can keep it up. Because Coast dethroned to 6%.
Yeah, I mean, that is actually a pretty big vote for Coast. They usually get very, very small, a lot of times single-digit votes, but their huge win over TSM, definitely getting them a lot more votes here. And it's definitely giving them a lot more confidence, too. Jack kept on talking about how much that can do to boost the team's morale and affect their play positively in consecutive matches.
And that entire team has been putting up good performances. You think about last week, and it was really like the Zion Spartan and Shifter show, just kind of by themselves. And honestly, all of it started by Zion. But here, you've got Coast with everyone on the roster putting up some good shows. Crowd's ready for the game. We are as well. Here we go into Game 3 of Day 2 here in this week. Coast in blue, Counter Logic Gaming in red.
Whoa, okay.
It's gonna be fun.
Alistar starting off with the coin from Afromu. There's a possibility of going for a 2 versus 1 switch now. Alistar does not have the combat stats for early laning now. He's going with the gold item. And he would definitely benefit a lot if they did a lane swap because he'll have extra gold from that. But as we said, the turrets now, much harder to take in top lane, and you also give up control of the dragon area. But in exchange, you get an early, easy lane for Vayne for double lift. So I don't know if they will actually pull the trigger on this because especially their coach has been outspoken in not liking the 2 versus 1 switches at all since the tower changes.
Well, just to kind of consider that thought for a second, Alistar is probably better at surviving like a 2v2 jungle gank. Like if you're in 1v2 and the jungle comes to help the top lane, Alistar can headbutt him away. Leona kind of gets stuck there and gets CC'd up.
Yeah, just one stun, whereas Alistar could deal with both.
Yeah, and he pushes them away, so we'll see. Coast right now is Fujin chilling in the tri-brush in the bottom side. Coast right here sitting on a good win rate so far.
Yeah, and something else about this CLG bottom lane that you always have to take into account is they will play losing 2 versus 2 matchups.
Yeah.
Even if their set of champions on paper looks like it should be on the losing end of a matchup, they don't care because they have so much confidence in their play that they feel like they can usually outplay their opponents even if, according to the stats, they're supposed to lose it.
Well, we'll see if they can defy the odds here. Daydream going to wait around the brush with Fusion as well. Looks like both AD carry and support not going to help their junglers. What we do have, though, is the junglers starting at different spots on the map.
Right, so they will end up on different sides, and Elysin ending up bottom might be trouble for this Afromu double lift lane because all teams usually want to focus double lift early to sort of get him behind. And we'll have to see if that does come to fruition for Team Coast.
See if they can get a double lift now, getting some of his minions. Doing an okay job with this one, actually. Gotta say, he prepped that entire wave from beforehand.
Yeah.
He knew it was going to reach the turret and got all of them low and got 5 minion kills under his turret.
Plan
no
early,
help from Aframu.
the plan early game for them is obviously just to try and keep up in CS, because they will have the late game scaling from Vayne, plus the early gold lead on Aframu from that gold item that he started. As long as they're able to sustain with the heals from Afro, and Doublelift is able to do a very good job of CSing under turret, which he should. You know, he usually maxes Tumble first. That helps out a lot.
It's true. We'll see if he goes for the Bloodthirster build in this game as well. Shifter in the mid lane against Link. I want to see how this matchup goes. Link got to pick last and counterpick the champion, but Shifter, they trusted their first pick with LeBlanc on him. So both these teams putting a lot of weight on the shoulders of these two mid lane players. We'll see where this one goes. The early push going in towards Link, but now that the junglers have gotten both their buffs, they should be available to gank, but they're just farming for now.
Yeah, junglers trying to farm up until there's a good opportunity to gank. And meanwhile, the mid lane, both of them have actually just used regular runes. They're not going for hybrid runes for any sort of auto attack, extra auto attack harass. I mean, Link definitely wants to thread in as many autos as he can get just because Orianna has the passive, but they aren't going for the super lane bullying early.
And to start things out, actually, a small minion lead here for Link. Under the lane right here, Aframu and Doublelift winning around. Their Silver Bolts learned to level 3. Both supports did go deep utility. You're seeing that +1 or +3 gold tick up whenever something nearby dies. They got that mastery, so they went at least 17 points into utility. Keep that in mind for you guys. Even the LCS supports are running deeper there. I know in throughout the last couple of years, most supports would run like heavy defense tree and like not even gold pretend quints.
Well,
yeah,
yeah,
solo queue
it
supports.
definitely complements his item build, especially you know, starting out with the coin. He's obviously going for gold generation, and they're doing an amazing job of CSing on the defensive. They're okay with Caitlyn pushing and not going for trades. Meanwhile, Nintendo really wants to make
the last
something
hit can
happen
land the
there.
root. Ooh, jukes the tether. That would have been a silence into a root and the damage. Not going to get much there. Zion, Spartan, and Nian haven't watched them much. A 5-minion kill lead. Growing slightly here for Nian. Not too bad considering it is Renekton. But Dexter's coming to make this one exciting. Still got the red buff for about 30 more seconds. He's going to look for this top lane fight.
So Nian chooses to go to the lane that is winning for him. A lot of the times, people gank lanes that are just pushed up. You know, that's just sort of the natural reaction when your team is getting pushed in. But he can go complement the lead that Nian already has in this lane, and they're going to go for even the turret dive.
Well, they're going to land 2 stuns. Zion Spartan low on health, flashes backwards. There's Nian in the front lines as well, trying to flash out of the way. Zion Spartan, 1 hit from dead, and that's first blood going over the Dexter. The outplay comes in, CLG 1-0.
So the second benefit of ganking a lane that is pushing in your favor is not only your laner is going to have the advantage, and you know, he was a level up, and he also has more health, but after you get the kill, the lane pushing in your favor means that all the minions are going to die to the turret. So Zion Spartan also lost a lot of CS there.
Bit of damage on a Doublelift. Zaydream in a little bit alone in this one, puts the Eclipse Shield on. Has to walk away. Of course, you can't put armor and MR against true damage, but they trade blows 44 to 38 in minions so far, so a bit of a minion lead.
And that's the reason they're picking Alistar into Leona. As you saw, Aframu able to knock away the AD carry so that even though Doublelift got locked down by the CC, there's no damage to follow it back up. And then he returns to pulverize Daydreamin' so they can't chase him down.
And well done right here. The push still continuing for this Caitlyn Leona lane. Both these guys relying on basically trinket wards to stay alive. None of them have wards in the inventory anymore, but no junglers have shown up to turn this lane around just yet. This top lane, I'm scared for Coast right here because pushing in towards Nian's turret, and Zion already can't fight him.
And it's again a repeat gank from Dexter because the flash was burned from Zion trying to survive under his turret. He knows that he's very vulnerable again. And as you said, lane pushing in his favor, he might extend a little bit too far here. Nian looking to repel in because he knows there's no ultimate from Zion right now either, so he can't dash away.
But in the bottom lane, though, Double is taking even more damage. You said that CLG's happy to fight a losing 2v2 matchup. The stun on Zion, empowered stun at that one. More damage coming through. Ulti pop. Can Zion get out from this one? Doesn't really manage to dodge these stuns just yet. He's trying to run around.
Oh, he killed.
No, not enough for 6. Still running away. Dexter's still on the chase. Cocoon doesn't hit. Zion's on the run, but Link's going to cut him off on the right-hand side. The flash in from Dexter. They're still trying this one.
Yeah, he's going to get caught here.
It's a slow shockwave just to make sure. 2 assists coming through as well, making that one happen. And hey, Nian's got enough help to win his lane.
So, Nintendo, even though their top laner died, never mind, double lift getting attacked.
Oh, and the
There
stun
it is!
under the turret. That is not good for Daydream. So much damage coming across. Last turret shot, not going to make it happen, though. Barely gets out from that one. But now there's some low health cards.
Oh, that was exactly the play I was talking about in Champ Select, but now Coast are looking to capitalize on it. Nintendo and Shifter both roam down there a little bit too late. Double Lift and Afro make the right call, getting out of there as quickly as possible. Close game.
Sunlight and Peacemaker come through, killing away the minions. Nien, hey, double the CS of Zion Spartan now. But the push in the bottom does give Shifter, gives Nintendo blue buff.
Whoopsies.
He's got his own. It's okay.
Yeah, but you would definitely rather give that over early to Shifter, so a little bit of a misclick there from Nintendo. Won't hurt them too much. As you said, they still can go take their own. He's got a ward on the blue side of the river here in the mid lane from Shifter, so if Dexter goes to try and counter his blue, they will be tipped off.
Oh, there's a harass onto Link. He probably wish he had 10 CDR and some mana regen, but Shifter won't have that here. Link with a Chalice and the Flask there, so plenty of sustain and magic resist. The CLG duo lane has returned to lane BF. Sword indeed here for double. So, yep, that's going to be him maxing Tumble. And,
I like that lane ward from them. Not only does it notify them when Daydream is looking to attack from the bushes with Leona and allow Afro to get off that counter, but it also notifies them when there's the lane gank coming from Nintendo, which is really what they're worried about.
well, here we go. The engage in the bottom lane. Knock up and the stun on a Daydream and into the wall again. Level 6, though, goes for double. Level 5 Bane only. Level 6 here for the Coast duo lane, but it's not enough. Not going to find anything more here.
Yeah, so even though he gets knocked into turret, Wiz Fusion's spending that time getting more damage onto double lift. So they trade damage on support for damage on AD carry. And that's going to make it a little bit harder for double lift to CS because he has to constantly be worried about this harass.
Well, Dexter going to sweep away the ward. Pink ward was used and didn't unfortunately mean much for that Coast lineup. Zion Spartan fighting under turret, getting minions very far down, though. It'll take a long time for Shyvana to catch up in this matchup. That is one thing to worry about for the Coast fans out there because he tends to be an important factor. Only 2,400 gold on poor Zion Spartan there. Meanwhile, everyone else on CLG doing fairly nicely. 2,500, or 1,500 I should
Looks
say.
like a Dragon Call here, pretty early, and they do not know that CLG are closing in. Very dangerous move.
Okay, stun doesn't land. Wiz Fusion going to jump over the wall. Shockwave onto 2. Very good start for this one. Daydream still running away. Can they get the knockup? Yes, they do. Afro move picks it up.
Going
Good
for the
start.
Dragon when they are not 100% sure they've got control of it. CLG do a great job reacting to the movement, and they just counter the Dragon. They not only are rewarded with a kill, but also the objective here.
Steel does not come through there for Wiz Fusion.
He didn't even bother smiting.
Didn't need to. No steals available. Zion did stay in the top lane to keep killing minions, but you're just seeing Nien over and over and over again find more plays for farm. He just killed that poor little white camp. He's level 9 to Zion's 8. It's only getting worse.
And Nien, I have to say, he's doing a good job. He hasn't made any reckless plays. Even though he got that really big CS lead, he's done a great job. Look at the 2 wards that he's placed on the blue side. He feels confident in farming between the turrets, and because there's so much action later, or on the other side of the map, you know, he hasn't had to worry too much. Zion trying to answer here at mid.
Ooh, he's trying to make a play with Shifter here onto Link. There's a jump in forward. Root's not going to land. Get a bit of turret damage. Zion's going to have to get back to his lane soon-ish. Okay, looks to use the that time to push for a gank instead of taking some minions. Doesn't find anything for it, though.
Now, with Renekton constantly farming between the turrets here, it's kind of draw more resources eventually up from CLG. Zion, it was trying to make something happen mid, but he has to return constantly to that top lane to deal with these waves that are constantly going to die to the outer turret.
Yeah, Nien's just been grabbing like wolves and the white over and over again in between wave farms. I gotta point out though, Nintendo, the jungler here for Coast, went for Madrid's opener. Very different opening.
It's a rare item to see on Summoner's Rift, especially in the LCS. Shifter getting down some harass. Okay, because, you know, it turns into that Wriggles, which is a very unpopular item because you have to farm very heavily.
Now there's a knockback onto Wiz Fusion. They're just not able to deal the damage. The Alphamu Alistar pickup there just completely working out. Knocks up Daydream and pushes back the AD carry. You never see the damage really come through on a double lift. He's bodyguarding very successfully.
Yeah, so with Nintendo going for that Madreds into maybe a Wriggles. I'm very interested to see if he actually completes the Wriggles or if he buys Sightstone instead and leaves Madreds till much later, possibly selling it. He will be missing out on all that gold income from conservation, which is so beneficial though.
That's true. That was kind of like the signature Nintendo style from last split. Was very, very low farm and kind of he just relied on his teammates for everything. But that might just hold him back really far in this game.
Now, that style of play is fine if you can make the plays to get your teammates ahead. He hasn't been able to make anything happen. 0-0-0 here without, getting a lot of the extra gold for himself. It's going to be a problem for them late.
Well, mid lane taking some damage there. Shifter on the first pick LeBlanc, but here comes Nien. He's going to chase down. Can he look for Lee Sin? Doesn't find anything here in Nintendo. Level 8 to Dexter's, actually 8 I think as well for the Elise there. So Nintendo's holding up at the very least, but the mid lane push not coming back in for CLG. They look for the mid lane.
Yeah, both top laners getting bored up there, and they've decided to both roam mid for the 3 versus 3. I do like this move from CLG because their jungler is Elise, much better at turret fights than Lee Sin, and able to harass people under turret as well as look for the stray cocoon, which could turn everything around.
Definitely could. We'll see what he can do with the Elise here. Going for the blue buff again. This one will go to Chronologic Gaming, so Link gets his first blue buff of the game. And the other interesting thing to note about Nintendo is he's maxing Tempest and Cripple, the E, first. Mostly since I see max Q and go for the execute damage and try to kill people off 1v1.
Oh, they're going for it!
Well, let's see the knockback there with Fusion's right in the fray and gets exhausted and stunned. So much damage comes through. Dexter picks up the first kill and he's not done. Chasing for Daydreaming. A little more damage coming across, but no stuns left from the lineup. Gets away, but another one for 0. Constantly CLG finds kills. Yes,
they got the kill, and now they have pressure on the turret because the only people left are melee. Lee Sin and Leona, very, very tough time defending turrets. So CLG should be able to get a lot of work done on the bottom side of the map.
Look at this top lane fight though. Zion Spartan's 2 levels down and was pushing around Nien there with just a Sunfire Cape versus Tiamat. Ignites come through as well. This fight's going to be really close, but Nien needs to flash away. Zion winning the 1v1 2 levels down.
That is one of the drawbacks there for the Tiamat early. He's got great shoving, but he had a hard time dealing with Zion and the confidence there. We may be seeing a repeat. This is a definite hope for Coast because whenever they do win, it's the solo laners that get going. Finally, they've got something to work with up top. And meanwhile, Shifter has got his Deathfire now on LeBlanc.
Yep.
So last time they won a game yesterday, it was solo lane kill and then another solo lane kill.
Yeah.
We'll have to see if Shifter can actually follow up Zion's and do something for himself too. He's going to have to work with that Fog of War to make it happen though.
Yeah, and he's going to have to contend with a Doublet who's had a pretty decent lane so far as well. Vayne, known for killing off those frontline tanky guys who are building for just the durability, so what's cutting through them. So that's another fight that I want to see happen later on in this game. If Shifter can't take him out.
I feel like the mind games from Champion Select from CLG were so strong. They really wanted this matchup for their duo lane, and that's exactly what they got. They've capitalized on it beautifully, able to even call in Dexter for only 1 game. Dexter didn't spend a lot of time down bottom.
No.
They just called him when they knew they had the flash advantage and were able to get the kill on the AD carry. So very, very good start for Double Lift.
This mid lane turret will finally go down. Shifter's going to find that, and Intended behind. Didn't go for the fight, actually. He had no idea if there's a jungler around, and Shifter didn't try to fight Link.
Yeah, well, the Dragon up in 15 seconds does mean that you want to be a little bit more cautious. You don't want to get chunked out right before Dragon spawns, because anybody going back to base would mean that it's very easy for either of these junglers to take Dragon, and it looks like CLG definitely have that one on their list right now. Shifter roamed up top at the most detrimental time.
Yeah, they're looking for Nien, who's pulling all sorts of attention. That's classic CLG. Top laner overextends, pulls people down, team gets Dragon anyway. Nien's still running about. I feel like he's just safe anyway.
He's done such a good job here. He's found a nice little hiding spot and wasted so much time from Shifter. As I said earlier, he's done such a better job this time around, warding up in the side that he is farming between turrets. It's allowed him to make these plays. And usually, he would die to something like that. But this game, he's playing beautifully, except for that 1 versus 1 with Zion where he got soloed.
Yeah,
Don't forget about that one.
It's okay, he's got most of his Sunfire Cape done now as well, so I feel like he'll survive a bit more. With Fusion Daydreaming now in this bottom lane, they got Nintendo to support this one. But here comes Link, the jump in from Daydream, but this could be a little bit too much. Double it, getting lower on health, lots of shields on him. The chase in from Nintendo. It's going to be a flash away from Double. There's the Kate ulti, blocked up by Aframu. True support there, and it's a disengage.
Yeah, turns into a 4-on-4 here. Difficult siege, but the ultimate's in favor of CLG right now. Shifter really wants to make a play with his Deathfire from the side.
Well, he's going to look for Aframu, but it's going to be a cow with an ultimate. You don't want to go for that one. Stun does land. Not good for Shifter. Shockwave. Dodge with flash. But you still don't want to lose your flash for that one.
So close right there. Great job by Shifter. Spamming his W to get out as quickly as possible. Soon as Cocoon ends.
But now it's CLG still able to push. Zion Spartan actually taking 2 waves now. He took top lane in front of the inhibitor, took mid, is now roaming down, but Nien's going to answer that as well.
Yeah, he cancels the previous idea. Decides to go fight in Nien again. He had good results the first time, but Nien has bought since then. And he's added on some defenses, so he'll have a little bit easier of a time.
Yeah, all Zion added was a Negatron Cloak, which does almost nothing against Renekton.
Yeah.
So that matchup much different from last time. We'll see how these guys pan up. Looks like Lee Sin still winning around Nintendo. Just constantly defending this turret. CLG have been waiting for this siege for so long. And with a 4,000 gold lead, they're finally going to make the way all the way in. Another outer turret goes down. CLG finding their first turret kill of the game, just 19 minutes in. Nien, the root's going to land. Shifter could have the damage. Nien pops ulti, and they're not going to go for it.
Yeah, Shifter still in range of him, though. Trying to buy time for Zion to push up top. See if they can answer. A lot of good pink ward coverage on the bottom side of the map for CLG. That's 3 of them.
You can't get to the river without getting spotted.
They really want to protect the duo that's doing so well right now.
Zion still on the push. There's a Q lands on Aframu. Alistair still not a guy you want to dive. Bloodthirster done on both AD carries. Double Lift also has gone back to buy, moving towards Zeal. So a more powerful AD carry right now. And Double going to be sent to split push top lane. But we got 30 minutes to go until
he's got 2 people though. Shifter coming in hot.
Can he outplay Zion? The root's not going to hit right here. They need more damage coming through. The knockback there. Lower health on Double Lift. Goes left. Gets the outplay, but Ignite is enough. Zion Spartan gets the kill. 2-2-0. Only guy on the scoreboard.
Yeah, they actually did let the spinner land on Double Lift, trying to soak up farm. He didn't get very far with his Vayne split push.
His own second turret.
It was only at his own turret there, so it wasn't even like Double Lift going to get greedy and farm a long minion wave. It was just him trying to clear out the minions at his own turret and then go for jungle camps.
I can't believe Zion's taking this fight. He's basically down a Tiamat in combat stats. Ooh,
he's got
Flash
buddies
Forest. He does. He's up for LeBlanc. It's worth more than a Tiamat.
Yes. A shifter. Yeah, it's always nice to have a shifter in your inventory you can pull out at any time.
That'd be awesome. I would win so many more games of League of Legends if I could just like have shifter as a starting item.
Link definitely wanting to shove this lane down as well. Looks like they are just going to try and regroup right now. Coast definitely more on defensive, and you can tell that from their ward placements. The pink ward's all on their side of the jungle. They're more worried now about invades down bottom, that their turret was lost. And the red side jungle, definitely a point that CLG want to push.
Well, this is going to be a turret equalized here, and Coast, to be completely honest, are winning the turret objective game. They're up 3-2. They are down the dragons, but they're still finding good things to do, holding on nicely to this match. Kind of Logic Gaming, of course, kind of a very reserved game. They found some very strong ganks. Dexter, 100% kill participation, making everything happen. Red buff goes to his Fusion. Link getting his second blue of this game as well. So the invades have stopped happening as well from Coast.
Yeah, they're definitely feeling the gold difference though. You can tell they only farm the lanes when they're sure that they have coverage and they have pushed all the way to their side of the map. The only person really venturing into enemy territory is Zion. He's the only confident man because he's gotten the kills and he's been able to deal with his lane opponent 1v1.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, Shifter still working on finding somebody else to kill. They only were able to catch out Double Lift once.
Let's see what else you can find with this one. A very defensive build did come through for Link. Merc creds on top of Athenes. It might even be like Zhonya's over Death Cap, though I doubt it. But we'll see what Link does with this one. But certainly lower damage by not getting Sork Shoes. Aframu sweeping away the wards. You can't shield wards, but that's okay. You can still jump to him. The knock back. Well played on that one. More wards getting killed, though, so this pink ward's going to fall.
Now, if we go on this same path here as the game is already going, CLG are going to have a pretty big advantage moving into the late game. They've got great team fight here. As we said, Link doing very well in mid, and with an AD like Vayne and an AD Vayne manned by Double Lift, they have really, really good options for the team fight. It's gonna turn into a very difficult situation for Coast if they can't pick somebody off. They really need LeBlanc to get some of those kills from Praga War.
See what they find is a stun on Design Spartan. Not going to be good. Cocoon lands, but he does jump over the wall. He's going to be a safe dragon, but the ulti's going to time out before too long. Afro goes in on a Shifter. They have the damage there from Link. Jump over the wall as well from Shifter here. And as a disengage once more, still 4-2 in kills.
Dragon is up though, so the Zion ultimate being down, definitely going to be a pretty big point for them. Nintendo could go for the steal, but it's very dangerous. He has Flash and Smite.
Nope. Does not land it in time. Well picked up by Dexter. Slightly early Smite, but the Q comes through, makes it happen. That's another Dragon. I believe 3 now for Counter Logic Gaming. A 5,000 gold lead is what these guys are rewarded with. And I gotta say, a lot of that money is actually among the junglers. 7,400 to 5,000 between the two of them. The Golem Spirit is worth about 300 overall.
Well, it looks like Coast are grouping up top here and Double Lift farming bottom. So they want to make a move on the top side of the map while AD is bot.
A lot of burst on him again, and he's going to be going down. No magic resist on that champion yet in the build, and it's another kill going over towards Zion Spartan. He has every single kill for his team. Daydreamin' on the front line stun, forced to run away, and it's to disengage.
Yeah, and immediately purchasing that Spectre's cowl as soon as he died, so that he can get some magic resist, deal with the slow burn from Shyvana, and the burst! Oh my god!
Gigantic shockwave. What's going to happen now? Dexter finds one. The dive in towards the back. Daydreamin' trying to run away. He will fall down. Dexter with 2. The Lee Sin Q not going to get followed up on CLG. Just getting the 2 for 0 in the undermanned fight. Very well played.
Yeah, they could have even left Double Lift split pushing bottom. He could be down at that wave right now. That was just a pure outplay there from Afromu and Link combined. Beautiful, beautiful ball delivery system that they've got. All right, so Wiz Fusion gets hit by the Cocoon, and then Afro goes in for the 3-man crescendo, or not crescendo, shockwave. Able to take out the low HP targets there. Dexter goes deep even to finish off Leona. Very well executed from CLG.
Yeah, absolutely. That was a great ultimate overall. Great fight. Now 6-3, 7,000 gold. That number keeps growing. I mean, honestly, with the kills being this close, you wouldn't see the gold being that far apart, but it just is right now. The point I was making was that the Golem Spirit that was picked up now worth 406 bonus gold to Dexter so far. It's part of the reason he's got this gold lead here. Because we talked about Madrid's not, having the conservation passive.
Right, and he hasn't upgraded it to Wriggles because not a lot of people having faith in that item. It really makes you farm the jungle, and that takes all the pressure off of your lanes. It's just completely counterproductive to Lee Sin playstyle. So he went for just the Sightstone, but without the gold generation, he's not doing much because he's still 0-0-0.
Well, we'll see if the ward coverage from the Sightstone can help them enough here. You got CLG running up towards the top of the map, looking to deal with the Zion Spartan split push. That's been the recipe for success in Week 5 for Coast. Here in Week 6, it's not done quite as much here. Double Lift will be squaring off against him in spirit. He's going to the same lane. And Double Lift at 8,600 gold is actually still poorer than Zion Spartan. I do want to see how that matchup actually fares when they do fight 1v1.
Yeah, that'll be an interesting one. Zion has not yet... Oh, he has gotten the attack speed reduction, so he's already got Warden's Mail. That will help him out a lot in a duel versus Vayne. Yeah. That's basically the best defensive item versus a Vayne. For the amount of gold that you have to purchase. Yeah. Just as soon as you can get the Wardens and then upgrade it later.
Yeah. Once you get Randuin's, it slows the movement speed as well, which just helps a lot when Vayne tries to kite you. So we'll see where they can go. Zion has a bunch of conflicted item needs as well. He's like, oh, I don't have my Ruin King done yet, but that would help me deal damage. I don't have a Spirit Visit done yet. That would be kind of nice.
Well, he has to do so many things for his team. That's kind of, you can see, he wants to do it all for the team. He wants to be able to kill Double Lift. He wants to be able to split push. He wants to be the tank. But he's the only one with kills, and he's got so much on his shoulders that he has to carry right now.
We'll see with the Dragon Wings if it helps him carry a little bit more here. 7.3 thousand now putting CLG ahead, and Double Lift just keeps getting dollar after dollar here. 251 minions, the highest in the game right here. The AD carries actually mirroring their item builds, but Vayne just does more with these items here.
Double Lift extremely happy that he's gotten past the early game. in a very good laning phase.
Yeah.
And now he's just, it's pretty much time to display those main mechanics that he's known for. And he does get, to meet up Zion here, so we've got a preview of this duel.
All right, let's see.
At this moment, Zion's got the upper hand.
Double starting well, pushing him back, waiting on the ulti. Ulti comes back through, good flash, and Dexter shows up. That's not a duel. Dexter, you cheated. Shutdown comes across, and CLG on a 5v4.
I mean, we'll give it to him that one. But he had the entire CLG team coming out. That's why Zion started running away there.
And the ward coverage getting swept away. They do see CLG starting this, but it's a 4 versus 5, and the guy with all your kills is dead right now. Coast gonna have a very hard time at this one. Nintendo looking forward. He's got the reveal. There's the engage. Goes in. Look for a lot of damage. Double from the backlines. No ulti there. Can they get the fight going through? Nintendo gonna get trapped down. 1 for 0 so far. Daydream now forced to run Shockwave back in. 2 for 0. CLG win that fight decisively. And they go back towards Baron.
Shifter still has his Deathfire available. He might be able to get in there and kill one person, but it will be so dangerous. Afro's been very, very quick with his pulverizes.
And they're going to be safe with that one. Dexter taking away Baron 6-0-3. So much of the gold from CLG is on the jungler, but he keeps making it work.
And he's spent his gold in a team-oriented way. He's picked up the Solari, the Locket of the Iron Solari there. He's going to add not only the aura, but also the shield.
Push in now towards this turret. There's the damage going through. Dexter gets the turret credit as well. He's taking all the scoreboard lines. That name keeps popping up for everything.
I mean, everyone on the team is making plays, though.
Yeah.
Just because Elise has an execute, she gets to see her name lights a lot more because the last hitting on champions. But everybody on CLG is really doing well. I have to say, it's again another game where they've had great communication and they've played the game well, not only just from Champion Select, but all the way through the mid game here. So they've made it very tough for Coast, but they're trying to make a comeback here. Dragon is a great mechanic to get a comeback started, but CLG are not going to let you have that for free.
Oh, let's see. They're going to start looking right there. They do the damage. After even pull. Ooh, close one. After even pulverized, deal a bit more damage. Didn't do enough there. Was of course still picked up by Dexter. So, 4 score lines for him. You've seen the top lane split push still continuing. Zion versus Doublelift. And I feel like it's going better and better for Vayne over time.
Yep.
And I don't know, Coast, like, their options aren't working.
Yeah, well, they're just getting further and further behind in gold at this point. It's going to be really rough. They have to, and when you get to the point where you're down this much gold, you have to catch somebody out of position because they can't win straight up fights. And especially with the CLG team that we talked about earlier, in the late game, they have a really good team fight. So they have to count on Shifter trying to find somebody and blow them up.
Yeah. And they are. They're methodically taking control of this game, kind of logic gaming. This reminds me actually a bit of their game versus Curse a while back, where they were just sort of able to just like keep pushing and kind of doing whatever. Like CLG haven't really forced the issue. They're just like, we'll show up for this turret, we know we're in control. We'll show up for this dragon, but this Baron, we know we're in control.
And they're making these confident movements without even that much vision.
Yeah.
Usually at this point in the game, you'll see the teams just litter their opponent's jungle with wards. CLG haven't placed that many wards, actually. So they probably want to use this Baron buff to get that vision down. Because while the Baron buff's up, there's no way that Coast want to fight them. So it should be very easy for CLG to grab the vision right now while they have this huge lead over Coast.
Yeah, you should be able to. We'll see. We got wards in the inventories of the jungler and mid laner. Dexter and Link holding some.
Doublelift hungry, though. Farming up the
What's
lane
that bottom
by
lane?
himself.
That's an objective to itself. Like, getting Baron is nice, but getting a lane for Doublelift is, like, as important for the team.
And that's not even a joke. That's
like an actual goal. Yeah, an actual CLG goal. It's like, okay, so plan of attack number 3 is you go bottom lane and we'll sweep wards for you. So, bottom lane, he's even got a red elixir there. Doublelift happy to keep going. After 3 items, building towards a Negatron cloak. Could be Banshees, could be Quicksilver Sash. See which one he goes for. Red buff going to grab the way. Dexter happy to take that one, and Doublelift now on the turret.
I really like Banshees against LeBlanc instead of Quicksilver Sash because he doesn't really have to worry about some stray cocoon or something blocking up Doublelift. It's all about the burst damage. He wants to block the actual damage, not really the CC there. And the only CC that he really has to worry about is that Leona, which, the Banshees is going to block that solar flare as well.
Here we go. He's going to push it now towards the bottom inhibitor turret. Baron buff timing out very soon. This is the last wave with Baron. So CLG will continue their push without the pretty little purple flowers. That's going to be enough for them anyway. They got a gold lead.
Yeah, and you know, with their venture bottom, they have been able to put up that line of vision in the bottom side jungle. They've got red side completely taken care of here. Able to whittle down this turret. Turrets also regenerate very slowly. So, what is it, 90 HP
90
per
health
wave?
Yeah.
So they don't want to let this one go because they've got it down half already.
Oh, see, it's going to get down to about 1/3 as well. CLG, about 4,000 gold unspent in their pockets, but it's enough. 51,000 gold worth of items is plenty for these guys. They're still looking at the front door. W6D2 takes a shield
right
he
into
tumbles
it!
into the solar flare. The damage comes through. He flashes out, gets kicked away by Lee Sin, and he's now in the back line, stunning up Zion's part. I'm just watching Vayne hit things right now, and they're all dying in front of him. Gets the Mikhails, keeping him alive, and well, that didn't work for Coast.
Not ideal for CLG, but Afro able to save double and then again!
The ball delivery cow making it happen. 2-3 kills so far. Coast dropping left and right in the end. Gets his revenge, that's the one, on the Zion Spartan. W6D2's alive, and he's like, I'm outnumbered here.
Yeah, they're so far ahead that even with Double Lift tumbling into the solar flare, they still win the team fight and the game.
And the chase in, WSfusion goes down, kill picked up, and that's going to be Counter Logic Gaming, 14-3 in 33.5 minutes, taking the game, 2-0 on the week for these guys.
All right, it has been many years in the making.
Yeah.
CLG seemed to have reached some threshold for the potential that they held for so many years.
Yeah.
I think they finally met.
When you've got that much potential energy,
Finally met it.
when the ball finally drops, there's a lot of kinetic energy there. You saw them come out strong. The shockwave from that kinetic energy, Link making it happen. You're seeing them walk out. Relief and happiness on their faces there. These guys have only dropped one game since Dexter joined the roster.
And that guy at the front, Afro, making the plays. Couple of very good deliveries of the shockwave from him, as well as a great laning phase. Using the matchup to his advantage, they were able to sort of bait Coast into the pick.
Yeah.
And made great use of it. Oh, here it comes.
Here comes. Yeah, there we go. Those two together, the Rush Hour bot lane. 2-0-9 Alistair with Talisman of Ascension. You saw him get in there. The combos work. Only 2-1-5 for Double Lift. More assists than kills. I'm sure he's sad about that. But he still played a good game.
A little bit. Maybe the last play there